Hello, and today we'll continue with the news update of Devil's Gambit. So, just a brief recap. Once Kai revealed to Hector that he's not a demon, that he is actually a person, just like Kagan. He didn't live for thousands of years. He's not, you know, he didn't live for thousands of years. He's basically just like Kagan. He's a person and he's not a demon, but instead he is the avatar of the Dark God. So if you look at the update for Silverf, he is the avatar for the god that he serves. So that's basically what Wanskai Hawaiian is. He is the avatar, the Dark God. So that basically gave him the powers that he has in being the avatar of the dark gods. So he does have some powers with him, and the loincloth. I think the Sergio of the loincloth gave him the ability to do what he can do. So that's basically what happened last time in the first half of this new update, that he's not a demon. So I kind of figured he wasn't really a demon, that he was actually something else, because he acted way too much like an actual person instead of a demon. Because I wouldn't really expect a demon to fall in love with Hector. So we're going to go ahead and continue with this new update. One more thing. We also got to see Alistair. He got his legs cut up. He went into both Wine and Kagan went into the Duke's laboratory in his mansion and found Alistair's legs chopped up. So apparently they're doing experiments on wolves too. So, and if you don't know who Alistair is, he's that wolf that got into a fight with Fergus early on in the game. Kind of like a bully. That was him. So sad that happened to him. So we're gonna go ahead and continue. Oh, good morning, friend. Are you good? I just didn't sleep well. A hearty meal will pick you right up. I take a seat at the bar and proceed to rub my eyes. It would be more accurate to say I didn't catch a wink last night. Even now, last night keeps repeating in my mind. I go over Wanskai's, or rather Ryan's, words meticulously over and over, always ending with that hurt expression at the very end. Just, what have I been doing? Why do I feel like this? Because Kagan and Wine kept secrets from me? Because he rejected me that night, and before dawn he had already snuck into my bed? I don't understand, but after a night of thinking it over, it really seems that Kagan didn't approve of Wine seeking me out. At least not at the start. It's the only thing that makes sense. What kind of relationship do those two have then? Perhaps, like with everything else, I should take Wine's words at face value. He's not a demon. He's capable of lying. But if he's the closest thing to a demon there is, then all of his words may carry a fragment of truth. Forget about how it is possible for him to have been the old Kargan, about how them selling a body works and how they did this or that. If he's not a demon, then did all this start because of a disagreement between them? Come to think of it, Kagan Sur became very forthcoming with information about the valley from that point on, despite wanting to keep me away from it. They knew that I'd seek answers, didn't they? They gave me a glimpse of the truth, just a glimpse, to stop me from digging deeper. This is frustrating, but I have to admire just how resourceful he is, damn it. At the end of the day, I don't have much of a leg to stand on. I also heard many things from Kagan. Some of them were about Oblon, some of them were about Wan's Kai. At least regarding Wan's Kai, I rationalized it as me not having a choice after selling my soul. I couldn't defy him or seek help even if I wanted to. But now it feels as though it was an excuse. Sure, I didn't know he wasn't a demon, but did I not at least suspect it? I don't know. It's just frustrating. I've given it my best to understand Kagan, I really have, but how can I do that when he's kept such a key piece out of my reach? Was it because he was afraid? Did he not trust me? I don't think it's that he didn't want to be understood. That just doesn't sound right. Maybe we were the same, he and I. When I first arrived in town, I wanted to explain to him why I had been absent for 9 years. I wanted to let him understand the wounds that kept me away, and that despite them, I still cared about him and wanted to make up for the time we lost. But I was too much of a coward to show him that ugly, weak side of myself. Instead, I wanted for him to rip me open and tear it out of me. Perhaps Kagan has been doing the same, and I am the one who failed to give him what he gave me. In the middle of eating my lunch, when I hear somebody sitting next to me, my body freezes for a moment, but it turns out to be just Fergus. It's unusual he's opposing me, and then I notice him looking around and tapping the bar with his claws. Hey. Hello. He orders some ale, and Orwell happily obliges. After taking a sip, he looks at me again. Hector, have you seen Kagan as of late? I guess I have. No, I haven't. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. What's the matter with you? Sorry, I'm nervous is all. I can't find Alistair. I haven't seen him since the day of the games. I thought Kagan might be able to find him. He likes sticking his nose in other people's business. But now I can't find him either. He raises his arms in surrender and then drops them back on the bar. What the hell is going on? You don't look too well either. I didn't catch any sleep last night. Well, you say so. He's probably just worried. I freak out a little if I notice two friends disappearing in short succession. Well, I did meet Kagan. It's just I don't want to talk about it. I don't know where he went. That's so. Guess I'll run into him sooner or later then. I could tell he was curious about what happened between me and Kagan, but after averting my gaze, he took the hint and just remained silent in his seat, thinking as he watched Orwell work. There was also that Inquisitor. He's been going around, pestering folks with questions. I thought they already knew there are no demons in the valley. I tried telling him that, but he's determined to find how that Hazeleaf got to the amphitheater. Probably one of Manuelino's experiments going airy. He's following his father's footsteps, desecrating our holy sites in search of that fifth layer hogwash. You know, people are getting real sick of this. It'll be his fault and Manuelino's when something regrettable happens. Yes, it will be. And what may that something be? My blood freezes and Fergus's face looks like that of a frog for an instant, but he quickly gathers his wits and turns to the Inquisitor. Orwell tries to greet him, but several signals for him to go away. He's only interested in the two of us. Well, there's no telling what may happen to an outsider that makes it his mission to make enemies with the locals. How fearsome. It's a miracle nothing happened to you, Hector. It's a miracle nothing happened to Hector yet, then. Fergus, who had been ready to shoot and retort the moment Silver speaking finished speaking, paused. I also had no idea why he had suddenly shifted the topic towards me. Hector, I'm sorry I didn't tell you before. I've been busy, you see, and we haven't run into each other months, so I just didn't have the chance. But see, when I told his Grace about your accomplishment with the Dust Viper Venom, and he came up with the wonderful idea of giving you a promotion, I was interested. What do you mean by that? I've been following your research very closely. It is in part out of academic curiosity, but also for your safety. Who knows what may happen while studying the valley so closely after all. Hey, what are you getting at? But I understand perfectly. Shit, he knew I was getting promoted. He's been keeping tabs on me. After talking about Kagan, I hope he had lost interest in me. I thought he was only interested in the Manson's situation 9 years ago. What he probably means is he went to check my workplace last night and somehow figured out what I did. You don't look so good. Hector, what's wrong? I suggest you take some fresh air. I can come along to make sure you're okay. Fuck off, I'll go with him. Come, Hector, let's get away from this freak. The wolf gets up several steps between us and the exit. With a crooked smile, Fergus steps forward, cracking his knuckles. The tavern is mostly silent, except for Orwell's fearful mumbling as he hides behind the counter. What? Do you think I'm too afraid to knock off your teeth just because you look like you ate an entire beast for breakfast? Stand down, worm. I'm not interested in you. I think I'll start with your dragon teeth. However, before he can take another step, I grab him by the shoulder and pull him back. Stop. Silver, let's continue this somewhere else. What the hell, man? You don't have to listen to him. Maybe not, but right now I'm terrified of what Silver may reveal to the entire tavern if he keeps talking. The locals don't like him, but he's still an inquisitor. His word may as well carry more weight than Manuel's when it comes to the demonic. I'll be okay, trust me. No, you won't. You always look like shit. Alright, but look, we'll be right back, okay? Look at Silver and the dragon nods. Fergus doesn't like it one bit, but seeing my insistence, he finally decides to back off. After we leave the tavern, we began walking towards the Baron. Silver was silent. Naturally, this isn't a matter we can discuss within the reach of prying eyes. What? It doesn't seem like we're being followed. Silver turns to me, extending one hand forward. You have your journal on you, don't you? Hand it over. I grip the strap of my bag, stepping back. I'll take it from you if I have to. Don't force my hand. You'll regret it. Even if it says that, all it does is make my body shut down. With a sigh, he grabs the strap of my bag and yanks it out of my grasp and from my shoulder. I wince as he nearly takes my arm alongside it. He goes through it, not letting me out of his view for a moment until he finds my journal. Is this where you keep your research? Yes. What's going on? Why are you doing this? Don't play dumb. Your study has the smell of a dark god all over it. I know what you're thinking, but I've never made contact with a dark god. Whatever you found was probably from the haze leaf of my study. I'm trying to do what the Duke told me. Research the valley's fauna. Sure, that's what he asked. But how does that end with you distilling the dark god's essence unless you plan to do something with it? Silver stops in a specific page, and after analyzing it for a few seconds, ignoring my attempts at explaining myself, he holds out the journal to show it to me. It's the one where I wrote down the sigils and saw it's the one where I wrote down the sigils I saw during yesterday's visit. Care to explain this? I've never seen such a sigil before. That's for I'm overwhelmed by my heart hammering inside my chest. The world wobbles back and forth by itself, making it difficult to stand on my feet, let alone think. It creates a bird song, huh? My magic doesn't seem to work on it. but some of your coworkers did claim to hear birds singing inside the hospital yesterday, before you left. But if I put the Dark God's essence near it, then it would work, am I right? And it's not the only alien circle I see in these pages. What do you plan to do with all this? And where did you even learn about these? You won't believe me, no matter what I say. If he's kept this close of an eye on me, it's because he suspected me since. He suspected me much, much more than I even imagined. Was one's kind sent that thick on me? The ironic part is that now I know he wasn't a demon. He's just Ryan. Even if telling that to Silver was a good idea, I've got no clue how to go about it. Ryan called himself and Kagan a Simon, but how do I explain that to Silver in a way that doesn't just make him more suspicious? It's useless. All I do is implicate Kagan alongside me. What's wrong? Talk! But I can't. My throat has closed by now, and all I can make is a weird creaking sound. Silver closed the journal, giving me a contemplative look. He's no doubt considering if he wants to burn me now or later in front of the whole town. Then, as if to match his next words, his grin grows sharper than a sassle's edge. So, is Kagan also contracted to the demon, or could it be that he's the demon himself? Truth be told, I was suspicious of him from the start. I've seen my fair share of unusuals during my travels. I know well how surprising nature can be. It's that way that I learned to pick on the truly abnormal details. This awkwardness when it comes to using their hands, as if they had to practice the motions over and over because they don't come naturally to them. Those distant gazes like they're staring at somebody behind you. The way they always know just the perfect thing to say. Just the right intonation to appear disinterested or compassionate if it fits the situation. I've not heard Kagan speak, but I'm certain he's like that, isn't he? Kagan has nothing to do with this. Leave him alone. Silver raises an eyebrow at my sudden outburst, but his grin returns soon enough. Let me be direct. I know you're cohorting with a demon, and I know Kagan's evolved. Normally, what I discovered would be enough to put him on an inquisitorial trial, and at that point, it would be unlikely for him to escape his life. If Ryan isn't it, perhaps there's a devil in this forest, and it is possessing me. Otherwise, I cannot explain how it is that I find the courage to walk up to Silver and grab him by the neck of his tunic. It's almost like I'm pulling him down so he looks at me in the eye. I swear, if you touch him, What? You'll fix me some cough medicine? You'll be the one regretting coming to this town. I'll make sure of it. If it kills me. Good. There's some fight in you after all. Then, should I take it, you'll do anything to protect Kagan? He slaps my hand away, knocking me down and onto my butt. What? If so, we may be able to reach a compromise. Ironically, it's the rage that overflowed from me the moment he threatened Kagan that allows me to ponder his words. This has to be another trap, but what else could he possibly want from me? He's already convinced both me and Kagan have met a demon, so he could use us as scapegoats for the hasty infestation if he wanted. I don't like it. Perhaps he's bluffing, and he needs more evidence before he can touch us, but I can't imagine the Inquisition being so strict about executing a suspect. Not with their reputation of decimating entire towns upon being deployed in full force. You must be seeking something else. At the very least, you should lend him an ear. It can't get much worse than this, Hector. What are you talking about? Truth be told, I suspect there's a bigger threat in this town than a mere demon, and that would be the Dark God himself. But the Dark God is asleep, isn't it? That's what I thought, but it might have been a mistake. I don't understand. If the Dark God was awake, Wouldn't your people have found out about it about a year ago? The inquisitors who visited the town last year were soldiers. Manuel claimed to have seen the demon in the flesh, so what little was investigated concerned the town itself and its outskirts. Demons tend to stick close to where people live, you see. So they didn't investigate the valley itself beyond the wounds at its threshold. What I'm interested in now is the depths, the place where the eye dwells. They didn't investigate, but what makes you think the eye is awake? You keep asking the wrong question, Doctor. Perhaps you're unaware of this, but the eye already woke up in the past. The wolves fled the heart of the valley in response, performed in final. The wolves fled the heart of the valley in response and performed a final ritual to seal it, so that nothing could come in or out of the valley. So that nothing could come in or out of the heart of the valley. That story, Ryan told it to me once. I imagine Silver must have heard it from Aaron, so that means it wasn't a lie. At most, Ryan must have embellished parts of it to make room for Ronskine. So this doesn't necessarily mean that I went back to sleep. It simply was contained. What's the difference? It can't expand its influence, right? Or else the town and who knows how much of the world would have been taken over by it a long time ago. A few years ago, Monroe's appraiser, Ricardo, recruited Congon to investigate the Earth Helpers. He had noticed the time their development started coincided with the end of Leopoldino's much more successful expedition to the valley. They discovered the design had been based on an artifact of ancient Wanai. I suppose that makes sense, seeing as I couldn't find Kagan. I asked Aaron about them to acquire the original artifact Leopoldina Wolf needed to breach the seal. Do you see the problem? Are you sure? Wouldn't that mean the seal placed by the wolves was broken 11 years ago? Yes, the fact that Wanai has not fallen under its influence might mean it went back to sleep by itself at some point. Or maybe it is active and the town has only stayed safe for as long as it has a result of its superstitions. But that protection won't hold it back forever. There's no telling what might happen if the eye is ignored. Has a dark god ever awakened before? Silver closed his eyes, and he sighs with a melancholy that is not his. It's the same expression Dad would make when thinking of Oban's heyday before the tyrant changed it forever. A moment deeply personal to him, and yet no one in which he participated. It's also the expression Ryan had when he told me the story of the valley. Do you know about the lost continent of Bodos? I've heard about it in passing. It's that story about dragon colonists making their pact with a demon. That story is based on the only awakening known to the Inquisition. For many years, the dark gods of Bodos was awake without much activity. However, when a war broke out over it, its influence rapidly spread, and in the span of a few decades, it had devoured the continent. Its followers continued their mad crusade, half drunk on power, half fleeing from their god as it devoured everything in their wake. The fact we're here today is nothing short of a miracle. Not only was Bodos devoured, the sea shrank, the curvature of the horizon changed, famine spread throughout every land, punishing even those who had managed to avoid the war. There are effects of its awakening that are ongoing to this day, which I'm not at liberty to disclose. Do you understand? If the eye awakens, we'll be lucky if the consequences of such an event only reach this level. I don't. It doesn't matter what he says. This is all too much to wrap my mind around. And yet there's one thing I can hang on to. What does this have to do with Kargon? The dragon's smile grows ever so slightly softer. I don't know the nature of his deal with the demon or if he came in contact with the eye through other means. What's important is that he's been touched, and as such, it's inevitable he will be targeted by my more cutthroat comrades. However, the discovery of Earth Helpers was partially thanks to him. Were this to lead to an effort to contain the eye, I couldn't make a case for the Inquisition to spare him. Even if he's touched, yes, and there's precedent for it. Nature can sublimate nearly anything, even a dark god's corruption. This is the only way I can guarantee his safety and yours. Silver seems almost sad as he speaks those last few words. He's trying to hide it, but there's a feeling there that breaks through the mask. I don't know what's the cause of his sorrow, but at the very least, that alone makes me consider perhaps he's telling the truth right away. Whatever he wants from me, if he wanted, he could take it by force right now. We're alone in the forest, and I can't defend myself against him. Suddenly, it sinks in that he's giving me a way out. If I just do as he says, will everything be solved? Is it really that simple? A sob escapes me as I cover my face. My tears come out mixed with relief, fear, and a feeling like I'm lost in a vast ocean all at once. Why did I have to take that damned promotion? Why couldn't I see through Ryan earlier? Why did I come back to Anai? What do you want from me? I need to wade into the valley. I need to confirm the eye's status, and if the seal truly is broken, efforts must begin to restore it immediately. I see, and since he thinks I'll come in contact with a demon, he believes I must know a way in. Any demon would lure me closer to its dark god. Is that it? There is a way in. Oh? In the valley, there are large walls marked by sigils. They are too high to climb, but if you activate the sigil, the way will open. But last time I distilled the essence we need for the sigils. Well, I can't explain what happened, but it's too risky. I don't know how feasible it is to make large amounts of it to take into the valley. Arwen, after being exposed to a campfire, does wonders to thwart the influence of dark gods up to a point. I could procure a fitting container for you. Then I should be able to do it. Good. I must make preparations before we head into the valley. Even if we know a way in, we can't just walk in by ourselves. Meet me at the Baron when the sun hits its peak. Understood? Yes, may I have my journal back? Silver offers it back to me, but doesn't let go once I grab it. Remember what's at stake. Only after saying that he lets me go. With a nod, I turn around and silently makes my way to the hospital. I don't know where he's headed, but I can't muster the will to ask or look where he's going as we part ways. I have a job to do. And you'll do it, because you're Organ's masterpiece. Surely enough, after an hour after I got to work, Paulo came in to study with a small wooden box. He seemed a bit perturbed by it, or perhaps by my work with the Hazeleaf. Apparently a lion soldier had come to deliver it, which surprised him. Is Silver roping Manuel into this? I suppose it makes sense. Going into the valley's depths by ourselves would be far too dangerous, and without the Duke's help, we wouldn't gather enough people or resources for an impromptu expedition. It's necessary, but I don't like it. I still blame Manuel and Leo Berdino too for all this. After Paulo leaves, I open the box and find inside some sort of iron flask. It's still just a little warm to the touch. The lid can easily be removed, but it seems constructed in such a way that it won't allow anything inside to spill out once closed. For the rest of the day, I continue making the tiny amounts of that purple essence before depositing it in the iron flask and spinning shut the lid. I do have my journal open on a birdsong circle all the time, but it ends up not being necessary. It's almost pleasant in how automatic of a task it is. I don't need to think about anything as I continue repeating the same steps over and over. The movements become as natural as blinking or breathing after long enough. The time Silver told me to meet with him again arrives before long. Silver was waiting for me at the edge of the forest, a few minutes away from the hospital. When I arrive, however, he's not alone. With him are several of Manuel's men, as well as a beast outfitted with a saddle. It's then that I see Manuel near the ladder, ordering around some guards to check the saddle and the blinders are strapped tight. Ah, there you are. I'm pleased to see you didn't change your mind. Do you have the essence with you? Yes, but what is he doing here? The Inquisitor follows my gaze. I understand taking some guards with us, but what about him? It was his condition to arrange this on such short notice. He wants to see the heart of the valley as well. He steps closer, lowering his voice. He won't dare step out of line. If the dark god's seal is broken, we know his father was responsible. The Inquisition won't hesitate to go after him and his family just because they are nobles. I hope you're right. We take off not long after. The forest shadows look much deeper and darker today. The trees, which at times did occur to me, looked like hands had dropped off pretense and reached for us, trying to scratch us and poke us in the eyes when we least expected. The already treacherous earth is more vengeful, its paths twisting in ways as if to disorient us and send us right back to town. However, eventually we do make it to the ruins outside the valley, and after a brief break, we continue onward. Silver spearheads the march into the valley, accompanied by me to his left and a guard holding a map to his right. The dragon has his golden coin in his hand, ready to burn any threat that crosses our path. However, the walk to the wall is eerily quiet. It's strange, especially after how hostile the forest had been for us. It's almost as if the closer we get to the eye, the more nature's resistance wanes. It makes me think Silver really must be right about the seal. And yet, the thought it is the eye that is luring us closer makes my stomach turn with uneasiness. I regret telling Ryan to go away. I regret taking that promotion. I would have been better off remaining as uninvolved as possible with this, and yet my sense of duty towards Oblon led me straight into the Inquisitor's grasp. Is this really the right course, as it is meant to be, or did at some point that duty towards my hometown, which tempted me to expose the valley's secrets for the Duke, become more dangerous than a devil's temptation? The wall isn't anything like what I imagined. From a distance it appears like the wall of an incredibly high fortress. But up close, it becomes clear it's a fusion of countless roots and branches which have lost their color and become frozen in time, except for the circle drawn on it. But how will we activate that circle? It's too high up. Rather than completely blocking off the heart of the valley, the ancient walls left behind the circles in these walls, in case they would ever need to return, there has to be an easier way to navigate it, or to activate it. I keep that to myself, but Silver reaches a similar conclusion on his own and orders us to look around for anything suspicious. And soon enough, one of the guards find a stone slab marked by a circle. As we gather around it, Silver gestures with a nod for me to step forward. With a deep sigh, I hand him the iron flask, removing the lid so I can take a bit of the dark god's essence into a dropper. Then I step forward, staring at the wall of stone-like branches. We follow the steps of the draconic expedition from hundreds of years ago. I can only pray that, unlike them, we are not walking into our doom. Kneeling, I aim at the wound and let the essence out. With a glow, it is consumed and the earth shakes. The countless fingers making the wall regain their color, and alongside it, their life. With a symphony of creaking noises, they untangle, come apart, and burrow into the earth. Soon the path is clear. In the distance, going down the slope that gives the valley its basin shape, I can barely make out another wall. There are probably many more beyond that one, but together they do trace a path into the heart of the valley, straight into the eye's realm. Oh, so things like that. So I thought it would be more than just that. Okay, we'll have to figure out next time if it works or not. So Silverf apparently forced Hector into mail about taking him into the valley and to see how the place where the wolves used to be at, the heart of the valley, to see how it works. So we'll have to wait till the next update, which will probably be in a few months, I guess, to see what happens. But I actually thought it would be more than that. But anyway, so certainly Silver is a lot more colder. He's more colder and sterner to Hector this time. I mean, he likes to put on a friendly aura. He likes to put on that friendly act when he thinks somebody might have what he wants, but if they don't have what he wants, or if he thinks they don't have anything that he wants or thinks he might need, he pays no attention to it. Well, he pays no attention to all of them, like how he basically just told Orwell, just with a flick of the hand, just told Orwell not to bother him. Alright, so this ended right there. I was actually expecting more of that. Anyway, we'll have to wait a few months. So this was a big update as far as the story is concerned. We got to know who Ryan really is. And we haven't seen Kargan really that much at all, really. We got to see him for a few minutes, we got to see him for a few minutes early in the update, and then we haven't seen him at all much since. That's basically it. We haven't seen him since, so yeah. So feel bad for Hector that he's in this situation, and Silver being here didn't make things any better. So we'll have to see what happens next time. So hope you all enjoy this newest update. Thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.